Okay, so we're going to do moral and ceremonial laws. Alright, so there's a difference between the moral laws and the ceremonial laws. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. We don't want to ever use that word anymore, do we? Every one of you shall revere his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols, nor make for yourselves molded gods. I am the Lord your God. And if you offer a sacrifice of a peace offering to the Lord, you shall offer it of your own free will. Okay, your own free will. Nobody's making you do this. It shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and on the next day. And if any remains until the third day, it shall be burned in the fire. And if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is an abomination, it shall not be accepted. Therefore, everyone who eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the hallowed offering of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from his people. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, nor shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. And you shall not glean your vineyard, nor shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Lord your God. So there's taking care of the poor. Okay. You shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. And you shall not swear by my name falsely, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not cheat your neighbor, nor rob him. Okay, no robbery going on. The wages of him who is hired shall not remain with you all night until morning. You shall not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear your God. I am the Lord. So we're treating handicapped people correctly. You shall do no injustice in judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. In righteousness you shall judge your neighbor. So be fair. You shall not go about as a talebearer among your people, nor shall you take a stand against the life of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your neighbor, and not bear sin because of him. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. You shall keep my statutes. You shall not let your livestock breed with another kind. You shall not sow your field with mixed seed. Nor shall a garment of mixed linen and wool come upon you. Whoever lies carnally with a woman who is betrothed to a man as a concubine, and who has not at all been redeemed, nor given her freedom. For this shall be scourging, but they shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And yes, in the Bible, in those ancient times, they did have slaves. That's been around since human existence. So, I'm not saying it's correct, but I'm just saying the truth. The priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he has committed. And the sin which he has committed shall be forgiven him. And when you come into the land, and have planted all kinds of trees for food, then you shall count their fruit as uncircumcised. 3 years it shall be as uncircumcised to you, it shall not be eaten. But in the 4th year all its fruit shall be holy, a praise to the Lord. And in the 5th year you may eat its fruit, that it may yield to you its increase. I am the Lord your God. You shall not eat anything with the blood, nor shall you practice divination or soothsaying. You shall not shave around the sides of your head, nor shall you disfigure the edges of your beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, or tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. Now, I did some research on this. What they used to do is for the dead and like worship of the dead and stuff. they used to cut themselves and put tattoos on themselves for that reason. Okay. Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a harlot, lest the land fall into harlotry, and the land become full of wickedness. You shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Give no regard to mediums and familiar spirits. Do not seek after them, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. You shall rise before the gray-headed and honor the presence of an old man, and fear your God. I am the Lord. When do we do that? When do we really honor our elderly? We treat them like, you're useless, you're retired, you don't work anymore, you're not productive anymore. What about all the knowledge, all the wisdom that they passed on to their children and their children's children? And if they live long enough, their children's children's children. What about that? And if a stranger dwells with you in your land, you shall not mistreat him. The stranger who dwells among you shall be to you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Okay, so that's taking care of people passing through the land, aliens from different countries that are in the land. Okay, don't get me wrong, they had a sense of nationality too, and they protected their own. Okay, and they didn't just let anybody come over that they wanted to. Be like, come one, come all. They did not do that. No country in history has ever done that. So, you shall do no injustice in judgment, in measurement of length, weight, or volume. You shall have honest scales, honest weights, an honest ephah, an honest hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. That was how they bought things, paid for things. Okay, it wasn't like, here's $1. Okay, it's here's 20 pounds of gold or silver, whatever. Okay, so you had to have an honest measurement. You couldn't say, oh yeah, this is 20 pounds of gold or silver or whatever, and be cheating people, and it's not really that amount. Shortchanging them. Therefore you shall observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and perform them. I am the Lord. So that was the requirement for Israel. God's saying, you want to follow me? This is my requirements. You want to follow me. You don't want to follow me? Live like a pagan. Your choice. Okay? But don't cry when stuff happens, because I'm not there to protect you. But that's what it was. He said, I have a requirement of how you're supposed to behave. And it's funny. People don't want anybody telling them what to do. They want to be like, I want to live how I want to live, how I want to live. Okay. When you're a kid, who tells you what to do? Your parents. When you're grown up, who else tells you what to do? Your boss, maybe? You listen to authority figures everywhere you go, but you don't want to listen to God? You listen to mere men, mere people? Which you should on your job. That's your job. But you don't want to listen to God, who actually created you? I'm sorry, but to me, that doesn't make sense. So, anyway, but that's what that is. Tomorrow, we're going to be reading penalties for breaking the law. And y'all are probably going to get upset. Be like, oh my goodness, God's so mean. We have penalties here for breaking the law. And other countries have penalties for breaking the law. And some countries have worse penalties than we do. We have like little baby, slap your wrist. No, no, no. You can't even spank your kids in this country. When I grew up, I got spanked. You bet I did get spanked. Why do you think I turned out good? I had respect for my parents. I didn't go hitting teachers, hitting other people. I didn't go around fighting people. I didn't do all this kind of stuff. My parents were military. They were strict, number one, but at the same time, they were fair. They didn't just treat us like you do what I say, when I say, how I want to say, jump so high. They didn't do that. They expected us to obey. They expected us to act right in school. They expected that. But they also sat down and had a relationship with us and talked with us. And after they disciplined us, they'd sit us down and be like, do you understand why you got disciplined? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? You're going to get out in the real world. There's going to be rules everywhere. And you'll have, you know, discipline's worse than a little spanking on the booty. You know, you do the wrong thing on your job, you lose your job. Do the wrong thing breaking the law, now you're in grown-up timeout, jail. Now you don't get to spend time with your family, your friends, maybe but once in a while. So, anyway, food for thought. Bye, Facebookers and YouTubers.